Recording
In
to.
yes, in the coefficient of x to the in the second part, you need the coefficient of x to the power of 8. You needed to find in the expansion of in the expansion of 3x minus 2 into 2x plus 1 by 8 to the power of 10. Okay, in this expansion, you need to find out the coefficient of x to the power of 8. Now, what should be the coefficient of x to the power of 8 in this expansion? See that we start with this. We have 3x minus 2 into 2x plus 1 by 8 to the power of 10. Okay. Now, see, whatever is the expansion of x to the power of 8, right? In whatever is the power of x to, because you are multiplying this with this, right? One power of x you are multiplying with this, right? That means the power of x, whatever term has power of x 7, this x and this x to the power of 7 will give combine to give you what? X to the power of 8. Also, if you multiply this with x to the power of 8 in this expansion, then this will give you the coefficient of x to the power of 8. You add them up, you get the coefficient of x to the power of 8 in the total expansion, right? If you haven't understood, then let me put it in another way. See, when you are expanding binomially, this one, then what do you get here? You get 10c0, 2x to the power of 0, or 2x to the power of 10, in fact, 2x to the power of 10 and 1 by 8 to the power of 0, right? In the next term, you get 10c1, 2x to the power of 9, 1 by 8 to the power of 1, right? And you continue this way, right? You continue this way until you get 2x to the power of 2x to the power of 7 here. That means this will become 10c7, and this will become 1 by 8 to the power of what? 3, right? And then the next term will be 10c8, 2x to the power of 8 into 1 by 8 to the power of 2, right? And then further your expansion continues. Till what term the expansion continues? It continues till 10c10, 2x to the power of 0, 1 by 8 to the power of 10, right? It continues till this. Now see, when we are multiplying, there is a there's a something uh, in one term. What you get? 3x into this. This is x to the power of 7. That will give you an x to the power of 8, right or wrong? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when 2 you are multiplying with this is x to the power of 8. This also will give you x to the power of 8, right? So
Yes,
that is
sir.
what are the terms containing terms containing x to the power of 8
Mm,
are what? First 3x into
into X.
10c7,
Yes,
2x to
sir.
the power of 7 into 1 by 8 cube. This is
Yes.
one term that contains x to the power of 8. And what else? There's a minus sign, you put a minus sign. Minus 2 into 10c8, 2x to the power of 8 into 1 by 8 square, right? These
Yes,
are
sir.
these are the two terms that will contain x to the power of 8. So now you
Hmm.
just simplify. It is 3 to the power of 10 into 10c7 into 2 to the power of 7 divided by 8 cube, x to the power of 8, right? And the next one is 2 into 2 to the power of 8 into 10c8 divided by 8 square into x to the power of 8, right? This is what you're going to get. This is the
Yes, sir.
term containing x to the power of 8. So what is the coefficient of x to the power of 8? Therefore, you take before this you take common 3 to the power of 10 into 10c7 into 2 to the power of 7 by 8 cube minus 2 into 2 to the power of 8 into 10c8 divided by 8 square, right? So what is the coefficient of x to the power of 8? Hence, coefficient of x to the power of 8 is equal to 3 to the power of 10 into 10c7 into 2 to the power of 7 divided by 8 cube minus 2 into 2 to the power of 8 into 10c8 divided by 8 square. That is the coefficient. Now you can simplify and find out the answer. This is the coefficient of x to the power of 8. I'm not simplifying. You can write 10c7 as 10c3 also. Remember, while calculation. 10c8 you can write as 10c2. And then you can calculate. Okay. So that is how you get the expansion of x to the power of 8. In fact, the coefficient of x to the power of 8 in this expansion. Okay. And this, if you calculate, this should come to minus 270. Okay. The next part
Yes,
of this
sir.
question here is the value of x for which the third and the fourth terms in the expansion of this are equal. What is that value of x for which, for what value of x is, according to this question, what value of x? T3 is equal to T4. T3 is equal to T4. That is, third term is equal to fourth term. So what we do is we find out the third term and the fourth term separately, and then we equate and find out the value of x. So we find T3. What is the general term? Let me write the general term first. The general term we have already written on top. What is the general term here? General term. This is our general term, right? Let's put T3. So T3 will be T3 is equal to, put R is equal to 3 in this. T3, not R is equal to 3. T3 is equal to T2 plus 1. That means this becomes our R. Okay. Now put R is equal to 2 in this. 10C2, 2 to the power of 10 minus 2. 10C2 into 2 to the power of 10 minus 2. Okay. Divided by 8 square. And x to the power of R means x square. This is your third term. Okay. So this is 10C2 into 2 to the power of 8 divided by 8 square into x square. You can simplify this a little further, or maybe I'll simplify it later. Let's find T4 first. T4 is T3 plus 1. So this is your R. So this is 10C3 into 2 to the power of 10 minus 3 divided by 8 cube into x cube. So this is 10C3 2 to the power of 7 divided by 8 cube into x cube. Right? Now you need to find such a value of x for which T3 is equal to T4. So according to this problem, T3 is equal to T4. So now put the values and find out the value of x. 10C2 into 2 to the power of 8 by 8 square into x square is equal to 10C3 into 2 to the power of 7 divided by 8 cube into x cube. This. Okay. So in the next step, what are we going to do? We're going to simplify 10C2. Now remember, if I cancel on both sides, we are going to lose a solution. Okay. So that is why I'm simplifying on both sides. 2 to the power of 8, and 8 you can write as 2 cube square x square is equal to 10C3 into 2 to the power of 7 divided by 8 is again 2 cube whole cube x cube. Okay, that is the reason why I'm not cancelling. Let us simplify this first. 10C2 into 2 to the power of 8 divided by 2 to the power of 6 x square is equal to 10C3 into 2 to the power of 7 divided by 2 to the power of 9 x cube. Next, 10C2 into, by the laws of indices, 8 minus 6 x square is equal to 10C3 into 2 to the power of 7 minus 9 x cube. That means 10C2 into, this becomes 2 square into x square, minus 10C is equal to 10C3 2 to the power of minus 2 x cube. Okay. So now what you do is you bring everything on one side. So what do you get? 10C3 into 2 to the power of minus 2 x cube minus 10C2 into 2 square x square is equal to 0. Now from this you can take x common. If you take x common, what do you get? You get x square common. In fact, if you take x square common, you get 10C3 2 to the power of minus 2 x minus 10C2 into 2 square is equal to 0. That means either x is equal to 0 or 10C3 into 2 to the power of minus 2 x minus 10C2 into 2 square is equal to 0. That means, but x not equal to 0. Why is x not equal to 0? Because in this expansion, if x becomes 0, we are essentially expanding only a constant, 1 by 8. So x cannot be equal to 0. And that is why I was not cancelling. Because if I had cancelled earlier only, then I would have lost this solution, x is equal to 0, in fact. Okay. I would have lost this solution. We would not have got x is equal to 0. That is why I did not cancel. But x not equal to 0. Therefore, this part is equal to 0. 10C3 2 to the power of minus 2 x minus 10C2 into 2 square is equal to 0. Now from this you can find out the value of x. So here x is 10C3 2 to the power of minus 2 x is equal to 10C2 into 2 square. That means x is 10C2 into 2 square divided by 10C3 into 2 to the power of minus 2. That means this is 10C2 divided by 10C3 into 2 to the power of 2 plus 2, which is 2 to the power of 4. So this is, now if you find out the value of combination, 10 into 9 by factorial 2 divided by 10 into 9 into 8 divided by factorial 3 into 2 to the power of 4. So now 10 and 10 will cancel here, 9 and 9 will cancel here. Also, what you must realize here is that 1 by factorial 2, okay, 1 by factorial, and 3 can be written as, this is 8 here, 3 can be written as 3 into factorial 2 is equal to, this is, now this factorial 2 cancels. So what do you ultimately get? You get is equal to 3 by 8. So for x is equal to 3 by 8, your value of this expansion is the third term and the fourth terms are equal. Okay, so that is what this is. That is what this problem is all about. It was a long problem. Okay, so I think that covers all the types of problem from binomial theorem. Standard deviation, as I told you, standard deviation is nothing but the deviation from the mean. How much data is deviating from the mean. Okay, standard deviation, it is denoted by sigma, small sigma. Okay, you know what capital sigma is? Capital sigma is this summation sign. Okay, so this is small sigma. Standard deviation is denoted by this small sigma. And in this, we also uh, define another term called the variance. Variance is the square of standard deviation, which is sigma square. Okay, variance is the square of standard deviation. Remember, the square of standard deviation is called variance. And if you want to find out standard deviation from the variance, you simply take the positive square root of variance. Positive square root. Okay, only the positive square root of variance. So remember, variance is equal to square of standard deviation. And if you want to find out standard deviation from variance, you take the positive square root of variance. Okay, so we'll be focusing on standard deviation. Variance, if you can find only if you square standard deviation, you can find out variance. Okay, let us take the first example. This example that is given there in your textbook. Calculate the standard deviation of, find SD from the following observations. What are the observations given? 8, 9, 15, 23, 5, 11, 19, 8, 10, 12. These are the data given, and you will have to find out the standard deviation of these observations. These are not arranged in your class intervals. And if this kind of a problem is given, that is standard deviation of all these, then this is the way you are going to proceed. Okay, first of all, you're going to make 3 columns. You're going to make 3 columns. Okay, in the first column, you will have X. X is what? The data that is given to you. And when you're writing X, remember that you will write X in the ascending order. Okay, you will write X in the ascending order. Okay, so you write X in the ascending order. Which one is the lowest? Devanjan, help me arrange this data in ascending order. 8 you have.
Sir, first 5 is it?
And then again you have an 8. 5 is also there. Okay, then 5, 8 and 8. 5, 8, 8. What else? After 8 you have a 9, isn't it? And after 9
Then
what do you have? A 10.
10,
And after 10 you
11,
have 11, and you have a 12,
12,
and then
15,
15, then
19,
19. Okay, and then
23.
one more,
Last 23.
23. So let us count whether we have got all. So 10 observations. Yes, we have got 10 observations. Okay, so now what you do is, once you have arranged this data in ascending order, okay, you take the deviations about this. Okay, you take the deviations about this, and the deviations about this will be x minus, um, you can take any number, but remember, just as if you remember in your class 10, you were also taking deviations there, step deviation method, if you remember. Okay, you were also taking deviation, and you were taking deviations about some mid value, right? Some middle value you were taking. So if you see, the middle value here is either 10 or 11, you can take either of them, you can take. Let us take 10, it is a convenient number. Okay, so what you do is you take the deviations about 10. Okay, d is equal to x minus 10. So now you subtract. First is 5 minus 10, you get minus 5.
minus 5,
8 minus 10, you get minus
minus
2.
2,
Again you get minus 2, right? Again you get 9 minus 10, which is minus 1, and so on. You
which
continue
1,
this way. 10 minus 10, 0. 11 minus 10, 1.
0,
2, 5,
2,
9,
5,
and then 23
9,
minus 10 is 13.
3.
Okay, so this is what you are getting. Okay, so now what we are going to find out is we are going to square this d. Okay, we are going to square this d. D square minus 5 square is what? 25. Minus 2 square is 4. Again this is 4. Again this is 1. 0, 1, 4, 25, 81, and 169 finally. Okay, now you add up this. You find sigma d square. Summation d square you find. Okay, let us add up these, and let's see what we get. If you add up these, try to add up and tell me. 314 we are getting. Okay, sigma d square you are getting 314. You add up this also, you find out sigma d. Okay, if you add up sigma d, first add up the positive ones. 13 plus 9 is 22. 22 plus 5, 27. 29, 30.
And
Positives add up to 30. What about the negatives? 7,
10,
9, 10. So this 30
10, 20.
minus 10, which is 20, right?
Yes, sir.
You get 20.
Yes, sir.
So now, once you have made these three columns and you have done these calculations, now we shall proceed to find out the standard deviation. Therefore, the formula here is, remember this formula, standard deviation, sigma is equal to square root of summation d square by n. What is the n? N is the number of observations. Let us write n here. Here, how many observations are there? There are 10 observations. So here n is equal to 10. Summation, this formula here is summation d square by n minus summation d by n whole square. Okay. Now you put this summation d square is 314 and summation n here is 10 minus summation d is 20 and summation n is 10 square. Okay. So now this is root over of 3.14 minus 2 square, right? This is summation d square. So here
Okay.
we have square root of 314 by 10 is 31.4 minus this 0 cancels. You only get 2 square, which is 4. So you get a square root of 27.4 here. And if you find out the square root of 27.4 by division method, okay, you know how the method of finding square root by division method, your class 8 knowledge. this will come to 5.23. Okay, so that is what your standard deviation is. Now suppose if you want to find out the variance, then how will you find out the variance? Variance is nothing but the square of the standard deviation, sigma square, which is 5.23 square, and that's it. Okay, and 5.23 square is 27.35. Is 27.353. Okay, approximately. So that is what your standard deviation is, and that is what your variance is. This was the first type of problem where we had unarranged data. Okay, that is no frequencies. In case of an ungrouped frequency distribution, a simple frequency distribution, in that case, how will you find out the standard deviation? Let us see. Let us take another problem here from this only. This is, let us take this example. Okay, this question is, find the SD from the following observations. Find the SD from the following observations. And what are the observations here? This table is given to you. Tanisha, now you can see clearly.
Yes, sir.
You have X, and this is your F is for frequency. So you have 7 columns here. You have 7 columns. 8, 11, 17, 20, 25, 30, 35. And the frequency that are given here are 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 7, 3. For such a case where you don't have class intervals, in such a case again you will make certain number of columns. And what are the columns? Let me first make the columns here. The first column will be for your X. Okay, fine. So you made a column for X. The next column that we are going to make will be for F. Okay, this is the next column that we are making for F. Next we are going to make a column for deviations. X minus something. We'll see what something we will take. Okay. Next column that we are going to make is for D square. Okay. Square the deviations. Next column that we are going to make is for F D square. That is frequency into D square. Square of the deviations. Okay. The next column that we are going to make is the product of frequency and the deviation, FD. These are the columns that are required. Okay. Why are these columns required? Because our formula demands these columns. Okay, now if you see X, now remember whenever X is given, you will always arrange X in the ascending order. Here, your X is already given in ascending order. So we'll just simply copy. We have 8, we have 11, we have 17, 20. This is given in ascending order already. 30 and 35. Okay, so this is your column for X. Now we copy the frequency 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 7, 3. Remember, this column is also called as the variate. Okay, this column is called as the frequency. Okay, now we, what about taking deviations? Remember, when we take the deviations, we will always take it from somewhere in the middle of what? Middle of x. Remember in your class 10, just as in in mean we were taking deviations about the middle value, and in the previous problem also we took the deviations about the middle value. So here if you see how many observations are there, 7 observations, and the middle observation is this, right? 20. So we're going to take deviations about 20. So first one, 8 minus 20 will give you minus 12. Next, 11 minus 20 will give you a minus 9. 17 minus 20 will give you a minus 3. Next, 20 minus 20 will give you a 0. Next, similarly, 25 minus 20 will give you a 5. 30 minus 20 will give you a 10. 35 minus 20 will give you a 15. Okay, that's it. Now the next column is for the square of the deviations. Minus 12 square is 144. Minus 9 square is 81. Minus 3 square is 9. This is 0. This is 25. This is 100. And this is 225. Okay. Now once we have found out this, now we'll multiply f and d square. So what are we multiplying actually? We are multiplying f with d square. These two we are multiplying. Okay. These two we will be multiplying. Let's multiply 144 into 3 into 2. In fact, 144 into 2 is 288. 81 into 3 is 243. Okay. Next, 4 into 9 is 36. 1 into 0 is 0. 5 into 25 is 125. 100 into 7 is 700. And 225 into 3 is 675. So we have found out f into d square. Now we are going to multiply f and d. That is, now we are going to find out the product of these two. Okay, these two. So we have minus 12 into 2 is minus 24. Okay, minus 9 into 3 is minus 27. 4 into minus 3 is minus 12. Next, 1 into 0 is 0. Next, 5 into 5 is 25. Next, 7 into 10 is 70. 15 into 3 is 45. That's it. Okay. Now we are going to add up. And what columns are we going to add up? We'll see what column we are going to add up. But let me first write the formula. Okay. So formula in this case for a simple frequency distribution where class intervals are not given, SD sigma is square root of FD square by summation F minus summation FD by summation F whole square. This is the formula for standard deviation in case of this kind of a distribution. So what is summation F here? Let us add up. We require summation F. So let us add up the frequency column. How much does the frequency column add up to? We see that the frequency column adds up to 70. Okay. Next, you add up the FD column. Sorry, it's add up to 25. Sorry, it's not 70. Adds up to 25. So summation F is 25. And next, let us add up FD square because we require this is summation. I forgot to write the summation. So summation FD square by summation F minus summation FD by summation F whole square. Next, we require the summation FD square column. So this column we require summation FD square. Okay. So summation FD square. This adds up to 2067. 2067. Summation FD also we require. Summation FD, if we add up, it comes to 77. Okay, this. So now we shall just put it in the formula. That means sigma is equal to square root of 2067 divided by 25 minus summation FD is 77 divided by 25 whole square. Okay. Now you can take the LCM and you can simplify this. That is root over of 2067 divided by 25. You square 77, you get 5929 divided by square 25, you get 625. Now again, you take the LCM. 625 is the LCM. 625 divided by 25 is 25. 25 into 2067 is 51675 minus, and this will write as it is 5929. Okay, so this comes to square root of 45746 divided by 25. Again, apply division method, or you will have your scientific calculators definitely. So you don't need to apply division method also. So you can find out the square root by with the help of your calculators. You find it as 213.9 divided by 25. So this is square root of this. Um, Square root of 45746 is 213.9, and this 25 will remain here, and therefore when you divide you get 8.56 as your standard deviation. If you want to find out variance, square standard deviation, you will be able to find out your variance. Okay, so I stop here for today. Next day